Welcome back, lads, ladies, gentlemen, basement nerds, entrepreneurs, and StarCraft fans everywhere. Take a look at our current results. Looks like we find ourselves with Avenge versus Sora in the winner's match, and then Parting versus Sleep down there in the loser's match. So the two players most people are expecting to get out of the group. One of them is not.
Yep, that's definitely very, very exciting actually for me. It's like it shows that all these players very, very close in skill level. I feel like definitely a bit of an upset, the Sora versus Parting one. I feel like Parting making some key mistakes, but the Avenge versus Sleep one, Avenge looking really, really strong. Sleep making some small mistakes as well. And I feel like this next match is going to be very, very interesting. Avenge versus Sora.
Yeah, this certainly will be. It's going to be another Protoss versus Protoss. Now we got to see Avenge's PvZ is looking pretty solid. And Deadwing is going to be our first map here. So
yeah,
good to see some new flavor. That Korean fan in the audience earlier that wants to see the maps, as well as myself. I'm going to get to see them too. They haven't been out in Korea for very long. That's why I don't think they've been picked very often. And I think we'll continue to see them picked. My prediction is actually not even a single time for the rest of the day. Only time will tell. But this is one of our newer maps. There's a lot of different weird things you can do on this map. The third base is basically free to take. Everyone is saying that because it's kind of blocks off your natural. So if you take that base early, especially in PvP, it could be kind of crazy to have a third base that fast.
That would be insane, man.
But here we go. Game number one between these two Protoss players on a very new map. It's Avenge up against Sora. The winner of this best of three will be the very first player to join the GSL Code S.
And up here in the top right, in the yellow, Protoss player.
GNL Green Wings Avenge.
One of the two Protoss players.
And down to the bottom right in the blue, the other Protoss.
CJN2's Sora.
That's actually his nickname, the other Protoss.
Yeah.
That's what they call him.
That other guy that we saw like that one time, yeah. This is him.
Avenge Whiting, his name. And
shoutouts to Chef, Mortician, Blind.
Bisu Dagger, Gecko XP, and Blind Raver.
You were much better at reading those than I was.
Or Blind Roar, I think it actually is. I think I had a Blind Roar. I think he's from India, at least that's what his profile says. I know some of these guys that post a lot. I know Bisu Dagger, like, for sure. Which is kind of an ironic nickname, but
yeah.
So I was really curious to see how this one's gonna play out on this map. It's kind of like you ever play that game Pipe Dream?
No.
For the it's like for Windows 95.
No, maybe I played it, but I don't know the name.
Build like basically there's like a bunch of green liquid starts coming out of a pipe, and you just keep building the pipe on a grid, and you can keep sending the liquid around until like eventually you mess up and the liquid spills out and you lose. Anyways, this map kind of reminds me of that. You just kind of like link between the bases like pipes, because they're all just like so next to each other. Just looking at them, it's just kind of like feels like you just kind of zip, zap, like diagonally towards each one of the base. If you look at the, top right, for example, you just kind of go down in a line, or the bottom left, just everything's kind of linked really easily, really close by.
Yeah.
This map's been pretty controversial. A lot of people dislike it for various reasons. I reserve judgment because this is going to be actually the highest level play that anyone's ever seen on this map today, right now, with these two players.
Difference between us just playing on the ladder and being like, oh, okay, this is the way, but seeing like these guys here in Korea actually play the maps out and seeing how it unfolds as we get to see this map more and more often will give us the best read.
Well, even like watching pro players, from America stream it, like you get to see a good idea of how the American team plays it, but or even European players stream it in the same way. But we're going to be seeing it from the highest level perspective here. So a funny little probe hide up here for Avenge. It doesn't get scouted because Sora's only interested in checking the Nexus. And now he's going to send the Mothership Core to the north. This actually kind of tells me he wants to proxy, He's like, okay, you're not going to check here. And
which is really interesting because he's got a Stargate in the main already. What could he be proxying?
It's like a second
Stargate?
Yeah, like I'm like,
Gonna
well,
see
likely to
some
be a
weird,
Twilight
like,
Council, but could be gates as well. Hey, gateways and like a Phoenix all in.
Well, it's Twilight Council.
But he actually is now up against a build that he cannot defeat unless he adds also robotics, which I don't think he can afford because, I mean, yeah, he could get an Oracle out with that Stargate to defend against the DTs that Sora is making here, but he has to identify that first, and since he's totally blind here right now, not going to happen. But this Mothership Core identifies not only what he's up against, but might also be how he dies. I think he actually will barely be able to get out. Actually, I'm not so sure. Nope, second Phoenix says no.
It's going to go down. That's really unfortunate. He's going to have to spend a bunch of minerals and gas to get that guy back again. And these Phoenixes, they're going to come right down. They're going to be able to scout that Tart Shrine.
Exactly. Rather. Oh, God, Brennan. And he gets his own Dark Shrine, too, because he knows that this is likely what's going to be coming out. So he's going to go over here. Notice a Blink has started for Sora because he knows he's going to be scouted. He may even cancel that. Decides not to, but he actually still needs to get an Oracle.
Yeah, there it is.
It's a bit late, you know. He needs to get something over there. He needs to do a triple pylon wall, and he does. Oh, look at this. The DT, I think, even bugs out. So now he knows there's a pylon wall.
Yeah. Starts his own Nexus back at home. I mean, it's a pretty big map. It's going to take a while for any attack to come down here.
Today have been pretty crazy.
Yeah. Definitely a bit wonky.
Phoenix are just going to follow this. Take one Phoenix, I think with one lift should be able to kill that, as long as he gets that Oracle over.
There's the lift.
And, yep. Not a whole lot of hit points there. But the counter DTs, Blink is not the answer. He's got to be like, what in the world? Phoenix DT. Cool plan here. I mean, it's really quite unique. If it were scouted, it would be game ending, but on a map like this, where scouting hasn't really been figured out all too well, I like this choice by Avenge a lot.
Definitely very smart, and he's not going to have any detection here when this DT comes in the main base.
Avenge taking the world by surprise today. Here comes that DT. And what's he going to do? GG, that's what he's going to do.
Immediately just GG's out of the game. He knew. He had no detection. He was so far away from it with two DTs in your main base. That's going to be it. So Avenge taking game number 1 in pretty quick fashion. The nice proxy DT. Well,
Sora having some trouble here in this this first game, but I like how Avenge has been approaching these two series we watched so far. Game 1, something that's sneaky, something aggressive, and then game 2, I think he's going to play pretty straight up.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
I can't stress enough how good it is to see an old player like Avenge in the booth. This is actually like, this moment just proves that even if you go into a slump, even if you're teamless for a while, you're on an ESF team, and ESF teams are all disbanding left and right like flies, you can still actually, if you train hard, you make some connections with players you're playing with on the ladder, you can join a Keswa team and come back from the dead, because this is actually Avenge back from the dead right now.
Yeah, man, and he's playing so well. He's looking pretty primed to get out of this group. He's only got 1 win to go.
1 win left, indeed. Sora shaking his head here, looking a little bit frustrated. The map he's chosen is King Sejong Station. Again, wants to play a longer game, just like he chose against Parting. In fact, in the same fashion, we'll see if he can make it work. If he can't, Avenge will be our very first player out of GSL Code A to join Code S, taking first place.